The first 90 days of any presidency are a whirlwind of activity, but Donald Trump's first term in office set a new standard for action, controversy, and unpredictability. As Trump gears up for his second term, let's take a deep dive into his first 90 days in office, the policies he enacted, the backlash he faced, and what these early days can tell us about what's to come. January 20th, 2017. Donald J. Trump takes the oath of office as the 45th President of the United States. His inaugural speech, with themes of America First, set the tone for a presidency focused on nationalism, economic revitalization, and a challenge to the political establishment. This American carnage stops right here and stops right now. That same day, Trump signed his first executive orders, including halting regulations imposed in the final days of the Obama administration. It was a signal of the aggressive dismantling to come. Within his first week, Trump rolled out several key executive orders that would define his presidency. Let's break down the most significant ones. The travel ban, targeting 7 predominantly Muslim countries, was among the most controversial moves. It led to immediate protests at airports nationwide and legal challenges that would continue for months. The ban was blocked multiple times by federal courts before a revised version was upheld by the Supreme Court in 2018. It showcased Trump's willingness to push boundaries, regardless of opposition. Trump also signed an executive order to begin construction of the U.S.-Mexico border wall, another key campaign promise. Funding battles with Congress would define much of his first term. In a move praised by conservatives, Trump signed an order mandating that for every new federal regulation introduced, 2 must be repealed. This aggressive deregulation strategy aimed to stimulate business growth, but raised concerns among environmentalists and consumer advocates. Trump's early days were marked by friction with Congress, even with Republicans controlling both chambers. The most notable showdown came over healthcare reform. Efforts to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, a cornerstone of Trump's campaign, failed in the Senate by a single vote, thanks in part to Senator John McCain's dramatic thumbs-down moment. This failure highlighted the challenges Trump would face, even with a Republican majority. The courts played a pivotal role in checking Trump's early initiatives. Federal judges blocked several key executive orders, including the travel ban and efforts to cut funding for sanctuary cities. Public reaction was equally divided. Trump entered office with the lowest approval rating of any modern president, but retained strong support from his base, who saw him as delivering on campaign promises. On the international stage, Trump's first 90 days saw a mix of diplomacy and military action. He met with leaders like Japan's Shinzo Abe and launched airstrikes in Syria following a chemical weapons attack, a move that surprised many and garnered bipartisan support. As Trump prepares to enter office for a second time, what can his first 90 days in 2017 tell us about what's coming? For starters, we can expect a similar flurry of executive orders aimed at dismantling his predecessor's policies. However, Trump's second term may focus even more heavily on retribution, as he's vowed to target what he calls the deep state and expand his crackdown on immigration. His promises to challenge big tech and overhaul federal agencies suggest an even more aggressive agenda. Unlike his first term, Trump now faces a divided Congress and a more polarized nation. Economic challenges like inflation and geopolitical tensions will also test his leadership. But if there's one thing we've learned, it's that Trump thrives on unpredictability. Love him or hate him, Donald Trump's first 90 days in 2017 reshaped America's political landscape. As we brace for his return, one thing is certain: the next 90 days will be just as consequential.